This is newly released body cam video of a SWAT team taking down the mom accused of killing her 2 daughters and leaving their bodies in suitcases in a field.
Anybody else inside? Come here. Got her? The girl down.
Aliyah Henderson was just indicted on more than 24 charges in a case that was discovered when a man's dog sniffed up the suitcases outside of a school. What this mom said to SWAT officers who busted into her home. We're on the case presented by Law&Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Wow, this story is a tough one. They all can be, certainly when victims are children. But in this case, the case of 2 children found stuffed into suitcases outside a school, partially buried in a field. It is hard to comprehend what this mom is accused of doing. But when it came to the discovery of these bodies and what police did next, they did not have to go far to allegedly find the person responsible.
Okay.
This is video of Aliyah Henderson being taken out of her home in Cleveland. She's covered in a blanket. She seems to be blocking her face as she gets into a police cruiser. Now, inside her house, there is a young child still in the home, and you can hear that child crying. Police say that child was in good health. Now, we did notice that Henderson's home also, by the way, appears to have what looks like an exotic dancer's pole and a ring camera set up in the living room, which is not what we were expecting.
The very first case judge on the docket is Aliyah Henderson. She has 2 counts of aggravated murder.
Now, this is Henderson making her first court appearance in front of a judge earlier this month. A grand jury just indicted Henderson on 26 charges in this case, and authorities are now also revealing that Henderson's daughters may have been dead going back to the fall of last year. Now, before I get to that new information we have coming out of this indictment, I want to go back to when this case first started and when police got a call from a man who was out walking his dog. This man claiming he just made a gruesome discovery.
Hey, so you can show me arriving. How you doing, sir?
A little shaken up right now.
Understood.
If you go, you can see the case from back here. It's all the way straight to the back.
Close to that sign?
Yeah, see the little black.
Straight ahead in front of me? Okay.
Straight,
It's
yeah.
a suitcase?
It's a suitcase. I've been walking past it for about a week now because I take my dog. I stay right here. I take my dog. I usually walk her through there and then come around here.
Okay.
And for the last week, she's been stuck. It was like a mound of dirt. She's been stopped and sniffing like a little too long.
Okay.
And today I was like, well, I'm going to take it. I hope it's not what I'm.
Right.
And it was halfway buried. It's about this thick. It's about halfway buried. I pulled it up, unzipped it. I couldn't really see. And I opened it up and
Buried under the dirt it was?
halfway.
Okay.
You can see a little part of it sticking out.
And you said you noticed it for about a week already?
Yeah, it's been sitting over there like somebody buried it or tried to bury it. And like I said, I walked my dog over there and she keeps stopping and she sniff a little too long.
Right.
You know, she sniffs stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
I'm not going to. And today I was just like, let me see what the fuck really is.
Okay.
So it's back there.
All right,
I pulled it up so it's kind of standing up and stinks like hell.
Okay. You're right here. What was your name, sir?
Philip.
Philip? Okay. I'm going to check it out. I'll be with you. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is the park that is right outside of a school on Cleveland's east side, and this is where the man says he's regularly walking his dog, and his dog had found the suitcase. And you actually heard him tell the officer that he thinks that that suitcase had been there for roughly a week. His dog had been passing it, but this day, the dog went up to it and just spent a lot of time there. So the man decided to open up the suitcase, and that's when he says he saw a head and that he had made this gruesome discovery. I put Aliyah Henderson's name into truthfinder.com, and the address where we saw this raid take place comes up as her home, not far from where those suitcases were found. And also in the criminal background section of Henderson, and it was talked about in court, she does not have a violent past. She's never been convicted of a crime, certainly one where she's facing charges in the ballpark of what we're dealing with in this story. Now, we partner with Truthfinder here at Law&Crime for the research we do on our stories. Truthfinder saves us time so we can focus on reporting crime, not paperwork. And you can use Truthfinder as well. You type in a name, you find addresses, criminal history, and more. It's our go-to tool for checks, and it's one of the largest services in the United States. With the subscription, you can get unlimited confidential searches to check on new neighbors, vet people you meet online, or find someone to reconnect with. You can even look up registered sex offenders nearby or do a background search on yourself. Stay informed, stay safe. Check public records now with Truthfinder at truthfinder.com/OTC. Now, this is video of the police officer he was talking to who drove around to the other side of the park and is now approaching that suitcase partially buried in the park.
Radio. Go ahead. In the air, please. I got you.
Hey, are you still inside the district? Okay. I was gonna have you grab my flashlight, but that's all right. When you get up here, if you go down 162, like I went upstairs next to 162, you can just pull in this parking lot for this Ginn Academy, and you'll see me back here. So I haven't opened it yet. The dude I talked to, the caller, he said that there was this suitcase partially like buried in the ground that he said he's been noticing for like a week, and his dog keeps trying to get to it. So he said that he pulled it out today and to see what was in there because it was kind of heavy, and he noticed like a head and he just left it and called the police. So I'll just wait till you guys get here before I open it. All right. Yeah, just come down towards like Midland, and I mean, as soon as you get to like the last drive for the school, you'll just pull in there. I'm in the back. All right. Bye.
Now, you can see on the body camera video that the suitcase, again, it's partially buried, and the officer is waiting for his colleagues to show up before they open the suitcase.
I mean, it's like partially buried. He said it was sticking out for like a week. He finally decided to open it up. I just want to see. You flash your light on. I just want to see if there's any blood or anything on it. No? Yeah. You on? You bring it closer. I can't see. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, it is. It look like a kid.
Yeah. I can't. It's attached. It's just like full in the fetal position. No, frozen.
Inside the suitcase, they found the body of a young girl. And it wasn't long after this suitcase was found that police say they discovered a second suitcase in the park nearby, just about 25 yards away. And inside that suitcase, there was another body, and it was also the body of a young girl. According to the indictment, the two girls were 10 and 8 years old. The medical examiner says DNA showed that they were half-sisters.
Are there missing persons, missing children that match the two girls that were found?
So it's a good question. We have checked our, locally, we have no reports of any missing children that match these identifications. We are checking statewide as well. We also have the assistance from our federal, state, and local partners. This is a priority. This is a traumatic event for our officers, for the community. And, this is just such a tragic incident. But we're trying to develop any leads we can. That's why we're also asking for the community's help.
Court documents identify the girls by only their initials, AW and MC, but prosecutors publicly have identified the girls as 10-year-old Amor Wilson and 8-year-old Mia Chatman. Now, you heard the man who was walking his dog saying that he thinks that suitcase was there for roughly a week before his dog decided to check it out. And the indictment suggests a more disturbing timeline of just how long the girls may have been dead. Police made quick work of tracking down the person they believe to be allegedly responsible, the mom of the 10 and 8-year-old girls. And here is body camera video of police in Cleveland using a SWAT team to bust into the home of Aliyah Henderson and taking her into custody.
Watch it.
Hands up! Come on down, hands up! Come on down, hands up! Come down now, hands up!
And when you watch this video, it stands out to me just how emotionless Aliyah Henderson appears to be with that blanket over her. She's looking away from people, trying not to make eye contact, it seems, but it also just truly breaks your heart when you hear the voice of another young child inside of that home.
Go ahead. You good? Okay. I got you covered. Just hold on one second. I'm going to wait for the car to pull in so you don't have to. Yeah. Yeah, you're good. I got you.
This color? Is it upstairs? We're gonna get it.
Oh, can you open that door? Yep.
Hey, where's your bear at?
Sorry. Watch your stuff.
Again, Henderson was wrapped in a blanket. Police bring a cruiser around so she can get in, and she remains calm. Then here's another angle of her being put into that police cruiser. Henderson was then taken to the police station to be booked. And here she is with her hands behind her back. She appears to be in pajamas. She's emotionless but cooperative with officers as they get her fingerprints, take her picture, and book her into the system.
The very first case judged on the docket is Aliyah Henderson. She has 2 counts of aggravated murder.
Henderson also didn't show a lot of emotion when she faced a judge for the first time 2 days later. Here's what the prosecutor said during that hearing.
Madam Prosecutor. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, this is an allegation of murder in two separate charges. It's alleged in this matter that the defendant did cause the death of her two daughters, 8 and 10 years old. The badly decomposed bodies of the two little girls were found in shallow graves in Cleveland in suitcases. Your Honor, the defendant is 28 years old. She scores a 1 and a 1 on the PSA, has no record noted on the PSA. Your Honor, based on the nature of the allegations and the charges in this case, I would ask for nothing less than a $2 million bond. I would implore the court to consider setting a $2 million bond, cash surety at this point, for the record. Thank you.
This was a very brief hearing, and at that point, she was only facing 2 murder charges. And again, as we're recording now, she is facing 24 more counts after her case went in front of a grand jury. Now, Henderson does not have a violent criminal history, and you heard the prosecutor talk about a PSA, a public safety assessment. That is a process that is used to determine whether someone could be eligible for bond based on just how likely they are to commit a crime if they were released. Now, in this situation, even though she doesn't have a violent past and she has ties to the community, she's lived here her entire life. You'll hear her defense attorney say that in just a moment. The charges that she is facing and the crimes that she is accused of committing are very scary. Her public offender, though, did speak briefly during the hearing. Here was her argument.
Ms. Henderson is waiving the preliminary hearing on both cases, and I ask for the most reasonable bond you can give her.
Tell me a little more about her that you know.
Judge, she's been in jail 3 days, and as you've seen the public safety assessment, she's looking for a job and she has a place to live, and all of her life has been in this area. Thank you.
Have you seen her PSA?
I have. I just said, yeah. So
Let's go over that. So, no history of violence. History, 1-1, no history of violence, no convictions, no charges. Given the nature of the allegations, as well as my concern for the safety of the public, we will deal, the bond will be $2 million. Ms. Henderson, work with your attorney, go to your hearings, and fight for your innocence, okay?
With just a nod, Henderson was taken back into custody, and she's still being held in the Cuyahoga County Jail on that $2 million bond. And at that point, it was $1 million per each charge she was facing. She is expected to be in court later this week, where she'll be arraigned now with a 26-count indictment. We'll see how the bond situation could potentially change there, but I think it's safe to assume that it is highly unlikely that Henderson will get out of jail prior to a trial or this case coming to some sort of resolution. Now, as far as that grand jury indictment, Henderson now facing 26 charges. There are 6 counts for aggravated murder, 4 counts of murder, 6 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of felonious assault, 3 counts of child endangering, 1 count of tampering with evidence, and 2 counts of gross abuse of a corpse. In that indictment, the count of aggravated murder has the date of the offense listed between November 12th of 2025 through March 2nd of this year, which was just before the bodies were found in the suitcases in that school park. It is terrifying to think of what these 2 girls, just 8 and 10 years old, may have gone through in their home, allegedly at the hands of their own mom. And then when you think of November 12th potentially being a date where they lost their lives, it's chilling. Now, it's unclear at this point why authorities believe November 12th, a very specific date, is a time where that abuse could have happened, where these girls may have lost their lives. Now, when the bodies of the girls were found, Cleveland police said their descriptions did not match any active missing persons cases, at least in the Cleveland area. So another question you have to have, now thinking back to that November 12th date, is how do these girls, 8 and 10 years old, they should be in elementary school, how are they able to disappear? How are they able to vanish? And no one seems to know. Sometimes the family situations in cases like this can be very complicated, but certainly that is a big question that will be asked going forward in this case. Now, there are still so many questions about how this could happen. We also, at this point, we don't know the cause of death for Mila and Amor. That is something that authorities say they're still trying to figure out as this investigation plays out. These are pictures that we have of the memorial that is now in place at that park where those suitcases and the bodies were found earlier this month. The dad of Mia Chatman reportedly spoke to Fox 8 in Cleveland. He did not give his name. He wanted to remain anonymous, but he says that Aliyah Henderson kept the girls from him. He said to the television station, quote, "When it was something so simple, just give me her. You're feeling stressed, give me her. I've been trying to get her for 6 years. You've been ducking me. You told me I was too family oriented. That's why you ain't giving my daughter. Been tried. Then talked to CPS on numerous occasions." The man says that he went to the place where his daughter's body was found to lay flowers. And he says the dad of Amor also made efforts to get custody of his daughter, but those requests were denied over the years, keeping the children in Aliyah Henderson's care. Another line that dad gave was, quote, "I feel useless. I couldn't save my daughter." Again, those are comments being made by Mia Chatman's dad to Fox 8 in Cleveland. He did say the last time he saw his daughter was roughly 4 years ago. Now, Aliyah Henderson is next expected to be in court on Wednesday, March 25th. She has an 8:30 arraignment where she will face those 26 counts after the grand jury indictment. That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law&Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify, and we're also now streaming on Peacock. I'm Chris Stewart. We'll see you next time.